All right. So maybe I recorded prematurely. Uh, this is a disclaimer. Had an episode I recorded yesterday. I said I wasn't going to talk too much about the NBA trades on that particular episode, but that's fine. I think I talked about a little bit of the trades that happened on that Friday of that recording. By the time this comes out, it'll actually be yesterday. So now I have to put this episode that I'm recording as this moment that you're listening because of that episode. So you know, it wasn't too many big of a trades, so I didn't have a lot to talk about. I do have something to talk about now. So I'm gonna give flowers to two people, um, and that's really where this trade starts. So last week, I believe, because I say the time is a concept thing, and I'm kind of serious about it. I forget the stuff that I record. I record so much. It's like what Wayne said. He said something along the lines of, I don't remember the Carter. And people want to say it's drugs, whatever the case may be. But when you work as much as, him, of course, you're not going to remember as much. And that's probably the same thing with me. Of course, I'm not a caliber of a Wayne, even though he's probably one of my top 5 favorite rappers ever. But he said something along the lines of, brother, I don't remember the Carter 1, 2, 3, none of that. I just be working. I record every day. So, but I believe last week I did, in fact, talk about the Dame situation and how I basically alluded to it. It's fine to run from the grind, pretending on the system of the grind. So, just to give everybody feedback on it. The past, I want to say 2 years, it's always been trade rumors, and he's emphatically said, "No, I'm not trying to be traded." He said it himself. Yeah, I don't want to be traded. I want to stay here. I want to build. And everybody clowns him for that. This son of a bitch. Boy, I'm about to get real racial, I swear. Anyhow, uh, they taking the roads, jumping around. I can't wait to get out of this area. This loud ass niggas. Anyhow, fireworks and goddamn Humvees. Boy, yeah, never mind. Where's JBL? All right. So the past 2 years, he said emphatically, "I'm not running from the grind." I want to say 2019, and I gotta find that series too. I don't. It's ways you can find certain games from the NBA seasons, but it's damn hard. I don't know why they just don't have a. I mean, well, that's a lot of games to play, but they just need to have certain games that you just remember, or for the most part, everybody remembers in the archives. But I'm pretty sure I can find this. But I just remember in 2019, it had to be 2019, definitely was 2019, when he put up, I believe, 51, and he shot that buzzer beater, which is now that infamous picture of him looking. Well, no, I think that was during the bubble, or whenever. I think that was. No, that definitely was, because I remember he looked dead into the camera, stone face. C.J. McCollum was there, his former teammate, and others, as he shot that buzzer beater against the OKC Thunder, and I believe that was a 51-point game. And that's when him and Paul George got into it so much. You suckers never rough in the ground, which is hilarious, like calling. And that's definitely got to be the cover of this episode, because that's still hilarious that he says sucker in this century. But that lets you know the mindset of Dame. And he said he never ran from the grind. So I feel like rumors started then. I want to say 2020. As a player gets older, and it's like, all right, what are you doing? We've seen it with LeBron. We've seen it with Dwight. They give you 9 years, 10 years of their career. And then it's like, all right, this is where the trades start happening. Now with Dwight, he's played the Lakers. His first. I've never seen a player play for the Lakers 3 times, but Dwight, uh, Lakers 1 time. That first time, Rockets, Charlotte. So he was going around the league for a while. LeBron, it was kind of like, all right, I'm going to Miami. There's been several players like that. Melo has traveled. He got a couple jerseys, Chris Paul, etc. But with Dame saying he wants to stay for the team, this is the first time people have said, no, just leave. hence that cover that I placed last week. With him, it was like, all right, look, you get to see. Because for the most part, if you look at the history of Portland, uh, since Bill Walton, and I recommend that documentary, The Luckiest Guy in the World, on ESPN. It's a four-part documentary. Since '77, since they won a title, and I mean they've had great teams after that. The Portland Trail Blazers, as they call them, with Damon Stoudemire. Then you go after that to the team they had with Brandon Ward, Greg Oden, Rudy Fernandez, Nicholas Batum, uh, who was a legend at the bank, Charlotte, going back to them, paid him excess amount of money. He was hurt a lot. And then on the Clippers, he just get a lot of playing time. I don't know. Trying to remember the shooting guard, Andre Miller. So that team won 50 games, and this is with a Greg Oden and the Brandon Warriors hurt. So when you look at the history of the Portland Trail Blazers, I mean, obviously the '92 finals against the Bulls. You look at the history of them; they have a good history. They've had great players. They might be the most popular player they've ever had besides a Bill Walton. Like, I mean, Clyde Frazier was here, obviously, but you know, Dame, I feel like is more popular than them just because he stood around or stayed around a little bit longer, and he was emphatic about bringing the championship to the Trailblazers. He said in the song, a lot of people don't like his music. That's neither here nor there. I give my opinions on music, based on how I feel about it, but I won't say anything. So since that, going back to that, I think it was like the first round. Since that first round, it's always been rumors about him being traded or wanting to be traded, or not from him, but more so the Trailblazers. Like, hey, want to do something different? So now cut to 2023, and as of this recording, an hour ago, as of this recording, Damian Lillard has requested a trade from the Portland Trailblazers, which is kind of surprising. They said on June 26th, he was going to have a meeting with the GM in the office about, the future. And then it got quiet again. Um, so we just thought, no news is good news. That's what everybody thought. All right, here he goes. And we kind of had a feeling this was going to happen. It's because more than ever, it's been a little passive aggressive, I'll say, on his end. All this mysterious stuff, like I just talked about it. Like he played Miami. It was last week when he played Miami in the background. Like, all right, why? If you want to go to Miami, just say you want to go to Miami, and I'll get to that in a second. It's just little hints here and there, and maybe it's just kayfabe. Maybe they just kept him and his people kept that up just to hey, I'm about to leave. What y'all want to do, Trailblazers? Which is smart. Like, hey, what y'all want to do? Hey, I'm about to leave. And it's like, all right, him and his team are going to meet. And then you see on Twitter, which, Twitter doesn't matter, but I'll just use it in this reference because Twitter is down as of this moment. It's like, just getting rid of that app. Anyhow, he just basically has been hinting like, hey, I want to see what the team going to do. Hey, I'm thinking about, what's going on. And yesterday, as of this recording, Jeremiah Grant was offered $160 million. And everybody, including myself, said, yeah, he's going, being Dame. Because that's a clear, emphatic reason for him to go. I'm sure they have some cap space left, but giving, great player too, by the way, had a great season last year. I think he averaged like 20, 21, like 8 boards. So he had a hell of a season. But $160 million is insane. And that told me everything I needed to know because obviously Dame was hoping for more All-Stars. Do All-Stars not coming to that team? And it's not to say Portland, Oregon isn't a good city and a good state, but it's like, come on, man. You want to come home every night in that division against those teams that you would have to play to home in Portland. And again, no disrespect. I haven't been to Portland, Oregon yet, but from what I see, it looks pretty good. It's just, it's Portland, Oregon. When you think about that Northwest region, it's like, obviously it's no team in Seattle. But then if you go down, you got the Bay Area, the Lakers, the Clippers. So in different division, but still, just think about it if you in that region. So trade request finally, he decided to run from the grind. And I'll get to the scenarios in which they could play and where they want him to go. You could tell that the team wants him to leave. This based on what they said in the report, saying that hey, they will accommodate him wherever he wants to go. They will make it work, which lets me know, hey, I got some draft picks. Give us two players in the draft pick. He can go, even if it's second round. Because at this point, that's perfectly fine. I think this makes me think about when you are just like, yo, it's time to go. And it leads me to my personal, conquest of, when I decided 3 years ago to leave LA, which, I don't make a ton of great decisions, but leaving LA by far has been the smartest thing I've done so far in life. I don't make a lot of good decisions, but that was genius of me to leave. I will pat myself on the back. I don't pat myself on the back about a lot of things. That is, in fact, a smart thing that I did by leaving. So when you get to a point of, your environment is telling you, the system is telling you, hey, we want to go younger. It's time to go. And I think the Trailblazers, I'll cut them some slack on this, they just want to go younger. I think the biggest hint he shouldn't have got is when they left CJ McCollum. When they got rid of CJ McCollum, it was time to go. I hope I don't mispronounce his name. Anthony Simmons, young player, good player. He is Damian Lillard esque. He can't do all the things that he can do being Dame, but it's esque of that. Come off the dribble, you can shoot. That's it. I'm not gonna play defense. I'm just gonna shoot. And then now they got the draft pick, and then Jeremiah Grant, which is telling everybody, yeah, we're going young. So depending on what happens, they got a nice little young team. Obviously, we need to see what's going to happen with what they get in return for this trade for an older player, and he's not even that old. He's only about to be 33 in the next week or two. But in NBA years, yes, he's old. They haven't made the playoffs in the past 2 seasons. When they made them 8 consecutive years, they made the playoffs 8 consecutive years, but haven't the past 2 years. That should have been a sign as well. But again, you want to stick it out. I think I'll give him some leeway, being Dame. You just want to stick it out. I've been there before. Been there recently. Hey, let's stick it out. Let's see what's going to happen. Things could probably change. I just don't want to run from the grind. Sometimes it's best just to run from the grind. Just run from the grind sometimes. Um, so for him to leave now or request a trade, it's not a problem. And then especially if management is telling you, yeah, we got it. We're not going to fight you on this one. Yeah, we got it. We'll do whatever. We'll send you wherever you want to go, where you want to go. And obviously, going back to that Miami reference, they probably want to send him to Miami. I mean, Miami could definitely use somebody. Gabe Vincent is gone. I believe the guy's name is Max. Gabe was more so a factor in the finals and the playoffs in general with the Heat, but losing those two young players. And I mean, again, it's Pat Riley. These guys weren't even, in the draft. They were unknown draft picks and got picked up. He can do that all the time. Gary Vincent is on the Lakers, who I'll get to in a minute. Max went to, damn it, I just had the team. I think the Raptors. I forgot. I apologize to everybody. But nonetheless, it's just telling you exactly what, Pat Riley's like, yo, I'll pay you this amount. I think for Gabe, he wanted only to give him like 4 million, 8 million a year, which is still fine for 2 years, which is like, dude, you went undrafted to make 16 million. I mean, before taxes and everything, it's pretty good. It's a pretty good deal. So again, it's Pat Riley. They still got Tyler Hero, depending on what happens. Duncan Robinson, depending on what happens, they'll roll with that. They'll get some some more unknown draft picks or players that weren't picked up and go from there. And might still make the finals, knowing him. They just figure it out. So with going back to Dame and the scenarios that play out, let's say he goes to, I said the Bucks. Let's just say he goes to the Bucks. Depending on what they had to give up, they'll I don't know. With me, my forte isn't to really figure out exactly what team and where he goes plays out, because with me it's hard to play these trade scenarios. I just think about the system and how it works out. With the Bucks, it's like, okay, it creates more spacing on the floor so he can just shoot. I mean, it increases the rebounds too, just in case he misses for Bobby or Giannis, because I think Brooke is out of there from what everybody's saying. They're trying to offer him a contract, so the Bucks are interesting now. Uh, the Bucks would be a team that helps him in the East. I feel like in the East, hell, if he goes to the East, he might average 28. I mean, he will. He was doing that this past season. I think at this point, the past couple seasons, he's been averaging 28 to 30 points. Definitely 28 at the least. He goes to the East, he might average 32, just because it's less fast in the West and it's less hectic than the West. He can take as many shots as he wants being in the East. But honestly, right now, I can't think of a scenario other than the Bucks and the Heat where it works out the best and where he wants to win. Because obviously, the guy wants to win. If he stood where he is, knowing that they won't win, him requesting to leave, he wants to win. Also, too, people got to factor in. A lot of these people have kids. A lot of these players got kids, man, and families. You got to ask the wife and the kids, yo, where can we go? Or what works best for daddy or my husband is what the kids and, you know, the wife is saying, quote unquote, what works best for them or for him. Obviously the kid's too young to even think about that. And the wife probably just whatever works best. But you always play those scenarios when you have a family, like what works best for all of us. Because it's a long time. It's been 12 years with this franchise being a part of this city. That's a lot of time. The guy has 3 kids now. He's now married. He's older than what he was when he came from Weaver. It's 12 years of being in the same probably area where you bought your first house when you became a millionaire. Seeing the same people at our arena. Your neighbors. That's a lot. That's 12 years. It's not like he's a journeyman. I'm here for a year or two, and then we're going to see what happens. It's a lot for a family. So now you got to think about, your twilight years, which is 32, 33 years old. Again, a wife and kids. It's like, where are we going next? What works out best? Doesn't seem like a party guy, so if he goes to Miami, it's just strictly for business. And for the most part, it seems like everybody that played for the Heat the past couple of years is like, yeah, we just here to work, dude. Not saying they don't party, but we're just here to work. That's all that matters. So if he goes there and definitely goes to the Bucks, yeah. Funniest thing ever is if he ends up on the Clippers. I highly doubt that. I think the James Harden situation, which has been quiet the past 2 days since he opted in his contract to get traded from the 76ers, makes it hilarious. And I mean that's a scenario that you could play out James Harden for Dame, which kind of works out. But then now they don't want Tyrese Maxwell or Maxey, I'm sorry, long term being the 76ers, which hey man, I guess they in rebuild stage 2.0 now. Trust the process again. All right, Joe Embiid gonna be gone. You gonna be trusting the process for another 10 years. So, which is we getting to that point as well. So Dame for Dame for James is like a trade you can do. It would just be hilarious if he goes to the Clippers. I doubt that's gonna happen, but I would like to see James Harden on the Clippers, and then they resign, Russ. That'd be a great team to see. Be a fun team to see. And then you got 4 California locals on that team. It does a lot for, the Clippers. Even though they basically have been jobbing out to the Lakers, which, the Lakers are always going to be LA's team, so to speak, which I can't be mad at it because it's been that way before I was here. And it'll be that way after. You know. Shouts out to the Lakers though. I know people know that I'm a Lakers hater, but I will give them some leeway about everything they've done so far. They've done what you need to do. They're not in the win, let's win mentality. Yo, shouts out to Antonio if you listen to this, brother Antonio. He knows how I talk. I hate the Lakers. I hate the Lakers fan base mostly. So I'm always gonna say that. And more times it's a shoot than a rib. Can't stand it. But I will say they're making the smart moves finally by going younger and realizing, yeah, this LeBron 5 year plan ain't gonna work out. Not with a bad foot. And definitely starting out the season. I mean, obviously if he has to get surgery or whatever the process is going to be, which they haven't said anything about surgery, so it might not be a tear, but whatever it's going to be, I don't think he starts the season. So you got to go younger in this instance. So as of this recording, the Lakers have got Gabe Vincent, like I said, from the Heat, Cam Reddish, which is a young player. That's all I can really say. Got rid of Dennis Schroeder. He is now part of the Raptors. Re-signed Rory Hachimaru. Austin Reeves, who I said the moment free agency began, they should have matched that offer, whatever offer that they have on the table. Match that right now. I think it's rumored for like 4 years for like 60 mil, something like that, worth every single penny. The kid could play. If it's me, the moment I told everybody, as soon as it turns midnight, Eastern Standard Time, when free agency begins, I'm signing him that moment. I'm making a phone call ASAP. Kid was probably the second, third best player on the Lakers all season, especially in the playoffs. Some people just have a motive of winning, no matter what. It even if they don't have all the skills, they don't have all the assets, whatever. You sign them ASAP. Sign them ASAP, and that kid would have got signed ASAP. So, and then they have enough room to sign him, D'Angelo Russell to deal with, God bless, because playoffs come around and we've seen them in the playoffs this past year. Yeah. But at the same time, hey, something better than nothing. Because who else can you go out and get? Fred VanVleet as the barber. They call him the barbershop kid. He just signed with the Rockets. So it's like, all right, yeah, you got to sign D'Angelo by default. Because I can't think of another point guard that's out there besides James Harden. Even though he's a shooting guard per se, he plays the one. But then it's a sign and trade deal. Uh, I think his name is Terrion or Tayshaun Prince. I think it's Terrion. That played for the Wolves. They got him, another young player. They just really need a big man. They need a center. They need somebody that could rebound. Obviously, they got rid of Thomas Bryant, who just got a championship with the team that beat you in the conference final. So they need somebody that's productive that can rebound. I think they do have a center, young guy. I forgot his name. They got him on there, but they finally decided to go young. I just say I like the moves that the Lakers made, and we'll see what else they do. But I like it. You got a lot of young guys. Um, oh, the kid Cam Johnson, I believe that's his name, Cam Johnson, that played for the Nets. They got him. The Suns also got some young players. They got what's my guy named Yuri Watanabe that shot like 40% from the three. They got him on there. So the Suns made a couple little decent bench players. Everybody said 75 overalls on 2K, but hey man, again something better than nothing. So Lakers decided to go young, which makes me think, what if they would have stayed young? I'll play this scenario game. What if they would have stayed young before they initiated that trade in 2019 for Anthony Davis? Of course, you get no championship. There's no championship without Anthony Davis. That first year he got to the team. But what if they would stay young? Let's say a scenario where a Kyle Kuzma is still there, Lonzo, and obviously we see how that plays out. And I don't even want to talk about my Bulls. Lonzo is still there. Brandon Ingram still there. All-star Brandon Ingram. What if they stay? Obviously, it's no championship. But what if you just stay that way? Obviously, you'll be a lottery team, more than likely. and then get younger players as time progresses. So it's no championship, but yet you're in the rebuilding stage now. That's it. That's the only scenario that happened. They got their championship in the past 3 years, but be it that, Laker fans, most of them don't know shit about basketball. So they think they haven't won a championship in 20 years. Shy being a Bulls fan, everybody. It's been 25 years. I'm sorry, 25 years since we won the championship. All right? So try that. Y'all won one in the past 3 years. Bubble championship and all this stupid shit don't matter. It's a championship. A win is a win. It doesn't matter if you win by an inch or a mile. But Laker fans is greedy. They always want to win every season. That's not how it plays in life. So you get a championship with Anthony Davis, and then that's it. But now they're in the stage of, we know LeBron is getting older. Anthony Davis is Anthony Davis, still young. I think he barely is about to turn 30 next year. Even though he, at times he's 36 with the leg injuries and all that. As soon as you touch him, he get hurt. You got to start rebuilding now. Or not even rebuilding, because depending on what happens with LeBron this season, you'll make the playoffs again. Nobody expected them to make the playoffs. Jared what's his name? Jared? I forgot the guy's name. They re-signed him. Hell of a player. Vanderbilt? I think that's his name. He was a great player too. That they got during the trade deadline. So it's all these scenarios that play out that leads to, you may make the playoffs depending on how healthy LeBron and AD is. If not, you're going young. Again, the Lakers have nothing to prove. You tie with the Celtics as most championships, 16. The Celtics will probably get one more championship before this decade is over. The Lakers, maybe not. Just 20 will happen. So you're going young, and that's fine. They weren't supposed to make the playoffs last year up until the trade deadline. So to make it to the conference finals again is a great feat. And now you get a chance to maybe make that 6, 7 seed, depending on health, that is. So I like their moves. You're going young. You're looking at the future. We need some players for the next couple of years in case LeBron caught. I mean, he didn't, all that was smoke screen. That was to get attention off. But, obviously that train is coming. Bobby Thomas is undefeated. Nano machines and all that. All the time is undefeated. I like the trades they did. Otherwise than that, hasn't been like a lot of huge trades going on. Again, obviously in signings, obviously, I'm not on my phone right now. I can't check because I'm recording. But the Dame situation, I think, happens sooner than later. I feel like a trade will happen no later than tomorrow. Just because they was like, yeah, we'll get it done. Maybe Monday at the latest. Because I know a lot of these teams that free agency, the James Harden deal as well, it'll be done by Monday. Because a lot of these teams, and a lot of the players like to get it out the way, usually before the 4th of July, which has happened before in the past. We're just like, all right, let's just get this done so I can enjoy my barbecue and fireworks. So I expect this Dame trade to happen no later than Monday. And I mean, again, if they're being complimentary to what he wants to do, they'll let you know the whole time they're ready to trade him. They're like, cool. You want to go? Cool. Hey, I got you right now. And obviously, you get the best deal that you can. And there's teams out there that could use a Dame. So it's not like they're going to, fight back. Like, nah, we want Dame and 20 other players, and we'll give you 2 players in draft pick. It's not that serious. He got a hell of a contract, but that contract is almost coming to an end anyway. And you take him off the cap space. But for them to even do that's I salute them for that. I don't think that's this also saves Chauncey Billups' job. Because now it's like he got an excuse. Well, maybe it saves his job, but he got an excuse like, hey man, we traded our all-star player and we young, so this might help him out. And then he might be able to coach his team just because now you got a lot of young guys that'll listen to you because you based on the championship, even though they're probably like 5 when he won the championship, if that, when he won that championship in 04 with the Pistons. and was Finals MVP. But now they'll probably be a little bit more open. And also, he has a future he got drafted. He has a future potential All Star. The kid is definitely ready. He's in shape. His game is nice. So yeah, they got a future All Star in him. So we'll see. Shouts out to the Trailblazers for saying, "Hey, cool. You want to go? It's about damn time. We got you." Shouts out to Dame for finally running from the grind. It's okay to run from the grind depending on what the grind is. All grinds ain't good grinds. That's why it's called the grind. And again, I can't believe I'm about to say this. That's it. Yeah, I don't really have any more trade talks. I feel like we'll just see how everything plays out. Again, this will be out today as of this recording, just because I had to, you know, said yesterday, hey, yeah, I don't really have a lot to talk about for the trade deadline. So that episode will be out on Monday as of this recording, this Monday coming up, because I was like, hey, I don't have a lot of trade talks. Now trade talks happen, so got to make that work. And obviously that won't be a lot of, sports field, but still, it'll be coming out. As usual, thank you. Impromptu episode. Thank y'all as always. Like and subscribe, the usual.